Hey, welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. It's time to buy ammo again. Why? Why is it time to buy ammo? Is something bad going to happen pretty soon? Well, who knows? We don't know. No, the reason that it's time to buy ammo again is because the price is back down. It's available and the price is down. And I want to say something about that. It's a very important lesson. Let me see. I always set this wrong. That's because I slouch. Okay. uh, Back when the latest scare was going on, uh, everybody was rushing out to get ammo. They thought it was the end of the world. This is the problem with too many preppers. Everything, every day is the latest, greatest end of the world. Okay, now I'm old enough to have seen this over and over and over and over again, and so like you shouldn't, I don't respond emotionally to the latest thing, right? And I said during that time, while everybody was going out there and standing in lines and standing outside of Academy and every place else trying to get one box of whatever, I said, don't stop it. First off, never overpay for anything. Okay, you can say, but sometimes you have to overpay for it. Yeah, why? Let me ask a couple of questions here. Now, this is going to be for all of those people who are not competitive shooters, okay? If you are a competitive shooter, if you are a person who goes out there and has to be training all the time, that's different. But you probably have a large enough stock anyway that you didn't have to go out and pay ridiculous prices for ammo. Okay, hopefully you did, or maybe you're replenishing. This is not for professional or competitive shooters. This is for the average person, which is 99.9% of the people out there, right? Okay, so I said, don't overpay for that stuff. It's going to come back down. No, it's never coming back down because this is the end of the world and we're never going to get ammo again and we're not blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I stopped off past Academy yesterday on the way back from checking a house, and I popped in to get some new shoes. And while I'm there, I always run past the ammo to check, so that when people ask me, I know what to tell them. Well, you know what? There was ammo all over the shelves. The shelves were full, and you know what? The 22 was down to $2.99 a box. That's what I pay for it. Why? Because it shoots. And there's a couple of lessons here, and I realize it's about time for me to make another gun video, which I will do over on Patreon, because that's where the more serious people are. It's not detracting from anybody who watches on YouTube, but when I say things, certain things on YouTube, I just get too much of the trash from people who have never been in a real life situation, who get all of their information off of YouTube or from a class from somebody who's never been in a gunfight, or from playing these whatever these video games are, and they always want to spout their wisdom, their wisdom that comes from having heard something as opposed to having been in something. And that's something I'm going to cover over on Patreon, because it's important. I did one over on Patreon about fake instructors, and I was going to put it up here, and then it turned out that I'd already erased it from my phone, so I couldn't. I'm going to do another one over here about fake instructors, because, man, people need to get their head out and start making better decisions about who you learn from. Anyways, so I go back and I find that they've got what is it? Is it Aquila, Akia, whatever? They've got 22 for $2.99 a box. Okay, now some will say, "Well, I don't buy that stuff. I buy the super fancy $10.90." Why? Why do you buy that? Okay. Are you a long range 22 shooter? Or do you shoot it like most people do, which is for plinking and for hunting squirrels and rabbits and things like that? And, if you do that, they all go bang, and they all put holes in what you want to put it in. And if it's small enough, it'll kill it. Okay. I am not a purist on this stuff, and many of you know that. Anyway, so I picked that up, and I picked up, and the guy was, and then I went back this morning because I went over for something else, and I picked up. They still have a limit of 4, so what? Go a few times, and. The guy was stocking the shelves again. I got some more 22, and I says, "Oh, what you got any 45 in?" And he wanted to know, well, 45 range or 45 defense rounds. And I go, just range, man. That's another thing I'm going to be talking about too. Is everybody's all wrapped up in these super fancy defense rounds, right? And that's a bunch of silliness. I'll be talking about over on Patreon. Anyway, the whole point of this is ammo's back down in price. It's available again, like I said it was going to be. And sometimes I always get somebody come on and say, you're so arrogant saying that you were right. Hey, I was right. Okay, I was right. I give people advice. And do you know what makes advice important or not? Whether or not the person who gives it is usually right? So I know a lot of you are laughing at this right now. This is more for the people who are just kind of, flopping by and seeing who is this guy talking about ammo. So I've actually been there. I've actually done that. So I'm going to leave it at that. But give me some range ammo. And you know how much it cost? It cost exactly what it cost the last time that I bought it, which was before all this silliness started. And I haven't bought any since because I haven't needed it. Because you know what? I haven't been in any gunfights. And to throw this in there, I go out about, I don't know, maybe once every 6 months. And I shoot a box. And you know why I do that? Just to see if I'm still shooting as well as I need to shoot. And that doesn't mean that I need to shoot as well, to drive a nail at 50 yards. I don't have to. And I point shoot. And intuitive shooting, that's another thing that people who don't know any better will go, well, you got to use your sights, Have you been? Anybody who comes on here and tells me that you have to use your sights in a gunfight, okay, I want you to tell me whether you used your sights in the last gunfight you were in. Not what you read about, not what you saw on YouTube, not what you got from some instructor that you went to their class. The last gunfight you were personally in. Because maybe I'll tell you a story about one of mine, but I'll probably tell it over on Patreon. So, here again, there was no need to get excited. Okay, these things go in ebbs and flows, up and down and up and down. The whole purpose of preparing is so that when times get bad, you're prepared. You don't have to go out and overpay for stuff. Now's the time to do it. And I'll say one more thing that just kind of drives home this point, and it has to do with carry. Okay, people who think that things have never been this bad, that our Second Amendment rights have never been under assault like they are. Well, now I'll preface this by saying that I don't think there should be any restrictions on Second Amendment. It is a constitutional right, within certain parameters. I will put that, and I won't get into what those parameters are right now, but they are very few. Realize, and I tell this story often, when I was in law enforcement, and this is back in the 70s and 80s, okay, there were only 3 states who had concealed carry. That surprises a lot of younger people, right? And now I think every state does. So, to think that this is the worst that it's ever been, that our Second Amendment rights are under threat like never before, well, hardly. We have far more rights now than we did only 40 years ago, 30 years ago. So keep that in mind. And also, there's another lesson from that is, do you know why we have more rights now? Because of politics. Because people got involved, whether it was the NRA, Gun Owners of America, individual people voting in pro-Second Amendment people into Congress. Did you hear that operative word, voting? Not whining and crying and saying we're going to, no concealed carry law was passed. because a bunch of people got up and dressed up in camo and started stomping around and threatening to do bad stuff if they didn't get it. No, it came about because of people being involved in the political process, voting and having influence over their elected officials. So I know that this hasn't been, meat for the ones who just want to rah, rah, rah. But what I want to say is, come on, engage your reality gear. Understand what's really going on in the world. Prepare for it. I'm not saying that everything's a bed of roses. It's not. We've got hard times ahead of us. But understand what's real, and don't get all shook up. Don't get all, twisted around the axle of the latest daily problem. I'm also going to do one coming up about those who seem to be addicted to doom. If you need a doom in your future in order to feel alive, or a doom coming this week or tomorrow or whatever, that's no way to live. You need to be, preparedness needs to be a positive process that improves your life today while getting ready for tomorrow. I said that's the whole description of integrative preparedness, to be able to separate yourself and make yourself independent of all those interdependent systems over which you have little or no control, but not just getting ready for tomorrow, but improving the quality of your life today while ensuring the quality of your life tomorrow. So anyway, back to the original here. Yes, ammo's down now. It's down. It's available, and it's back to original prices, as are guns. Go buy some now. And for all that overpriced ammo that you paid for over the last couple of years, please let that be a lesson. Stock what you need now. Don't be responsive to the latest, greatest fear, because you realize when you do that, you're allowing other people to be in control of your life. Okay. I'm going to go out and have a great day today. I hope you all do too. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow and talk to you then. Bye-bye.